Hi, I'm Tova, and I'm going to walk you through the process of making Hamantashen special Purim cookies with video from me with my children. So here you see we've made the dough as a pretty standard cookie dough, and we've put a section of it we're using parchment paper. You can also use wax paper or directly onto a floured surface, and then we're rolling it out. You want to roll it out to be thin enough to fold, but not so thin that it tears when you start to fold it. I really don't know kind of what that equals to in inches. I just kind of feel it out. And then once it's rolled out to an appropriate thickness, then you want to use a round cookie cutter, or in this case, we're just using a drinking glass to cut circles. You want to make them as close together as possible because you'll move them onto a separate surface for baking, making sure not to overlap them and make sure that you cut all the way through. As you can see here, my son is doing in the background, cutting through the glass while I'm helping my other son roll out a second batch of dough in the foreground and just making sure that the edges don't get too thin. So then you want to get as many circles as you can onto your rolled out dough. So you can again see my son in the background there doing a great job putting the circles nice and close together to get as many as he can onto this piece of dough. So he's almost done with that, and then we'll show you how to fill them and then to fold them. So just getting one more. So now we've removed all of the dough surrounding the circles, and now we're adding filling. You can see I'm using poppy seed filling, which is very sticky, so kind of comes down in these round globs, whereas the jam that my son was using, the orange, that's apricot, is a little bit more mushy. You want to put in a fairly small amount, as you can see here. My son's put a little too much on this one in the middle, so he's going to take some of that back off because you don't want it to overflow when baking, and really less is more here because otherwise you're going to end up with a mess or exploded Hamantashen. So I'm just going to fill a few more of them so just you can see about what the quantity is. You want the center of the circle to be filled. And now I'm going to close these. There's really two ways to close them. I fold over the corners, one edge over the other, and then seal them closed like that. I really like how they come out that way. So you'll see it again. I'll do the next two with the poppy seed filling, and then you'll see my son's method of closing them up slightly different. Meanwhile, in the foreground, my other son is putting chocolate on his, which is a very hard to work with substance. It comes out great, but it's makes a big mess. But so he's working on getting just the right amount onto each of his circles. And I'm just going to move these aside for a moment. I don't have my baking sheet ready yet. It needed to be washed, and I didn't get a chance to do it before we started. But you can see just folding over the sides so that they stay closed and come out nice and flat. And now you can see my son folding. So again, you pick up the sides, you want to make a triangle, and he's just pinching those corners together nice and tight. You want to make sure that they're really well sealed, whichever method you're using, so that it doesn't come open, because then you'll just end up with a cookie with jam on top, which is fine as well, but it's not a Hamantashen if it doesn't stay a triangle when baked.
No, it's good. It's good.
So you can just watch him again. Just again, pick up those sides and seal them together. You want to make sure there's not any filling too close to the edge, because if it gets in between the layers you're trying to seal, they won't seal as well. You want to leave them at least a little bit open to see what's inside. As you can see, here's the final product. First the poppy, and now the chocolate, and now the apricot. So we hope you enjoyed this instruction.